Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskrityam Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, chapter number 53, text number 8 and 9. 10:53, 8, 9. Puram samshrishta samshikta Margarathaya chatuspatham Chitradhvaja patakabhis Toranai samalankritam Shragandha malya bharane Virajo ambara bhushitai Jushtam Sri Purushai Srimad Griher Aguru Dhupitahi. Puram Samshrita Chatuspatam Chitradhvaja patakabhis Torane. Okay. Probably you'll have to scroll for the last two lines. Okay. Anyone else would like to chant? Puram samshrishta samsikshta Margarathya chatuspatham Chitradhvaja patakabhis Toranai samalankritam Shagandha malya bharane Virajo bharabhushitahi Jushtam Shri Purushai Srimad Griher Aguru Dhupitahi. Puram Samshrishta Samshikta Margarathya Chatuspatham Chitradha. Puram, the city, Samrishta, thoroughly clean, Samshikta, sprinkle abundantly with water, Marga, the main avenues, Rathya, commercial roads, Chatupatam, and intersections, Chitra, variegated, Dhwaja, on flagpoles, Patakahi, with banners, Toranahi, and archways, Samalankritam, decorated, Shak, with jewel necklaces, Gandha, fragrant substances such as sandalwood paste, Malya, flower garlands, Abharani, and other ornaments, Virajaha, spotless. Ambara, in clothing. Bhushitaihi, who were arrayed. Justam, containing. Stri, woman. Purushahi, and men. Srimad, opulent. Grihai, homes. Aguru Dupitahi, aromatic with Aguru incense. Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. The king had the main avenues, commercial roads and intersections thoroughly cleaned and then sprinkled with water. And he also had the city decorated with tramp archways and multicolored banners on poles. The men and women of the city, arrayed in spotless raiment and anointed with fragrant sandalwood paste, wore precious necklaces, flower garlands, and jewel ornaments, and their opulent homes were filled with the aroma of Aguru. Purport: when earthen roads are sprinkled with water, the dust settles down and the road becomes smooth and firm. King Bhishmaka thoroughly prepared for the great wedding, setting the scene for Lord Krishna's triumphant abduction of beautiful Rukmini Devi. Om Ajnanatimrandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsya. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Hare Krishna. So we are reading in these verses about how King Bhishmaka is actually preparing the city, and how in the purport we read that finally for Krishna to actually come and abduct Rukmini, right? Though in the previous verse we actually read that Bhishmaka, because he was attached to his son, right, Rukmi, he had agreed to Rukmi's proposal. Though in his heart he was still thinking that, oh, it'll be nice if Krishna actually marries my daughter Rukmini, right? But because in the previous verse he described that how he was so attached to his son, so he said like, okay, it's his son's decision that she gets married to Shishupal. So let that happen. Right? So, and then here we are reading that how in these verses the king is preparing. So first we read about how the roads, it says like the main roads and the side roads were all cleaned and sprinkled with water. And then archways and then there were like banners on poles. And then after describing the city, then the men and women of the city are described that they were decorated with sandalwood paste, and then precious necklaces, flower garlands, ornaments, and then their homes are described, how their homes were filled with aroma of aguru. So we see the aguru word comes, we see many times when there's some decoration, there is some, and they use this aguru to actually offer to the Lord. Okay, I'm going to continue reading a few more verses. So text number 10. Pritrin deva samabharcha. Yeah, it's not that in mine also. Vipran brahmanas cha vidivat nripa bhojitva yatha nyayam vachayam asa mangalam. O king, in accordance with prescribed rituals, Maharaj Bhishmaka worshipped the forefathers, demigods and brahmanas, feeding them all properly. Then he had traditional mantras chanted for the well-being of the bride. So here in this verse it talks about after all the cleaning the city, the houses, the men and women being decorated, then the Pitrin is the forefathers, the Devan, the demigods and the Brahmanas, they were actually properly worshipped according to prescribed rituals. So so in the purports, our acharyas make the point that how Bhishmaka was well aware of the Smriti scriptures. Right. Well aware of all the rules and regulations, the prescribed rituals, and then hence he worshipped them according to rituals and fed them properly. Then he had all the brahmanas were chanting traditional mantras for the well-being of the bride. Right. Okay. And then next verse, I'm going to read up till 14 actually. Text 11. Snusnatam sudatim kanyam krita kautuka mangalam ahatam sukha yugmena bhushitam bhushanotamahi. The bride cleaned her teeth and bathed, after which she put on auspicious wedding necklace. Then she was dressed in brand new upper and lower garments and adorned with the most excellent jeweled ornaments. Right? So now it's come to the description of Rukmini, that how Rukmini, and particularly Sanskrit, talks about a word known as Kautuka Mangalam. Kautuka Mangalam is described as a ceremony for putting an auspicious marriage necklace. Right? So everything was happening according to rules and regulations, and she was properly bathed, and also the clothes that she was offered, it was like fresh clothes, upper and lower garments, and she had most excellent, it says Bhushita Bhushanotamahi, the best of all jewelry, right? Most excellent jeweled ornaments. Purport, according to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti, only spotless clothing, fresh off the loom, should be worn during auspicious ceremonies. Like fresh new clothes should be worn during such ceremonies. Okay. And then Jiva Goswami makes a point. Her teeth were whitened, taking away the betel nut stains, revealing natural whiteness. Okay, text 12. Chakru sama rig yajur mantre vadva raksham dvijotamaha purohito tharva vidvai juhava graha santaye. The best of the Brahmanas chanted mantras of the Rig, Sama and Yajur Vedas for the bride's protection, and the priest learned in the Atharva Veda offered oblations to pacify the controlling planets. Purport, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti points out that the Atharva Veda often deals with the pacification of unfavorable planets. So it says Griha Shante, so the planetary systems, to satisfy them, they were chanting different mantras. Text 13. Hiranya Rupya Vashamsi Tilamscha Gudam Mishritan Prada Dhenuscha Viprebhyo Raja Vidhi Vidhamvaraha. Outstanding in his knowledge of regulative principles, the king rewarded the Brahmanas with gold, silver, clothing, cows, and sesame seeds mixed with raw sugar. Right. And Jiva Goswami makes a point that since he was following the rules as a king, Vidhi Vidam Varaha, he accompanied the sesame with gold and jewels or donated mountains of sesame. And text 14, last verse we'll read. Evam chidi pati raja dhama ghosha sutaya vai karayam asha mantragyai sarvam abhyudayochitam. Raja Dhamaghosh, the lord of Chedi, had also engaged Brahmanas expert in chanting mantras to perform all rituals necessary to assure his son's prosperity. Right? So it's so interesting that we are reading how King Bhishmaka is making all these arrangements, how the bride is getting dressed, how the Brahmanas are chanting mantras for the well-being of the bride, and all of a sudden the scene changes. And it's just like how Raja Dhamaghosh, he's actually doing the same thing. He's asking Brahmanas to chant mantras for the well-being of his son, that his son could actually get properly married. Right? So Jiva Goswami says that this contrast, he says this description is given as a joke. And he says, just as Bhishmaka, the king of Chedi, engaged Brahmanas, his actions took place not too far from Kundina, since they were performed the previous day. So just the previous day, Raja Dhamaghosh was actually doing similar performances. Bhishmaka's actions, so this one sentence is what I'm going to speak about. Bhishmaka's actions were successful because of his eagerness to offer to the Lord. The king of Chedi's actions were useless since he was opposed to the Lord. So, externally, both the actions are very similar because both of them are actually inviting Brahmanas to chant mantras for the well-being of their daughter or son. And both of them are wishing that, okay, King Bhishmaka is praying that, okay, now the Brahmanas are going to chant auspicious mantra. Everything is going to be well. My daughter is going to get married. And the same Dhamaghosh is actually thinking the same. That now everything will be fine. My son will be married to Rukmini. But here the point is made. Bhishmaka's actions were successful because of his eagerness to offer to the Lord. Right? So though externally both the actions are similar, what really made the difference is the intention. The intention. That Bhishmaka, though he was doing all these elaborate preparations for the marriage, in his heart he was actually thinking that, oh, maybe Krishna will come and then he'll get married to Rukmini. So in his heart, he still was thinking that, oh, this is all for Krishna. Right? But on the other hand, the Dhamaghosh actions were useless. Though he was asking the Brahmanas to chant all these mantras, but they were all opposed to the Lord. He was actually thinking against Krishna, and he knew that, oh, Krishna is a danger. And hence they actually asked his other kings like Shishupal and other Jarasan to actually come and protect. In case Krishna comes and takes away Rukmini, the whole army should be there to actually protect Rukmini. Right? So I was thinking about this point that in Bhakti, actually if you see in Bhagavad Gita, both we have the aspect of action and we have the aspect of intention. Right? Like if you see, take the famous verse, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, Yome Bhaktya Prachati. Right? He says actually, you offer, Krishna is saying you offer to me a fruit, a flower, a water, a leaf, particularly tulsi leaf. You offer it, but at the same time, how you should do it? With bhakti, right? With devotion. So that is the action and that is also the intention. Right? So, and then if you see other verses like Man Mana Bhava Mad Bhakto Mad Yaji Mam Namaskaru, which is actually the essence, the conclusion of the entire Bhagavad Gita. And 4 aspects are there in this verse. Man Mana, you think about Krishna. But how should we think about? Mad Bhakta, as a devotee, as a favorable. Right? Favorably, we have to think about Krishna. And then what are the remaining 2 aspects? Mad Yaji Mam Namaskaru. You worship the Lord. So that's actual activity. And then you offer obeisances to the Lord. Again, activity. So Krishna, throughout Bhagavad Gita, we see when he talks of devotion, he does not only talk of the intention behind or the mood or the emotion, but he talks it should be connected with the right action. Right? So right action plus intention will actually lead to bhakti. Right? So hence Prabhupada translated bhakti as devotional service. So that is devotion, that is the mood, but that is also service. You have to actually do some service. Right? Now of these 2, which is more important? The action or the intent? The intention. The intention is more important. Like we read about how when Krishna came as a peace messenger, right, to Hastinapur, and then Duryodhana had prepared all these elaborate preparations. He cooked, like it's described that, he employed all his servants and they were doing this big cooking with big pots and everything. So when Krishna comes, Duryodhana was thinking, oh, now I can feed Krishna. And then maybe he will do, he'll be in my favor then, right? He did all these elaborate preparations. And when Krishna came, then Duryodhana after invited him that, Krishna, I have cooked, so many things for you. Please come and take, right? And Krishna refused. He said, there's no affection here. I mean, there's no affection. So, and I'm not hungry right now. And neither there's a mood of affection. So why should I come? And he outright rejected it. So that was the action, but the intention was totally wrong. Right? Intention was totally wrong. Right? Now, on the other hand, I like the story from Chaitanya Charitamrita, that where the intention is there, but the action actually is not there. But still, it is very much accepted. And I was thinking of the story of Narsimananda Brahmachari, and it's described that how when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he wanted to go to Vrindavan, right? From Navdeep, he was going all the way to Vrindavan. And when he wanted to go to Vrindavan, then, all the people of Navdeep, they actually heard, oh, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going to Vrindavan. And everyone wanted to go with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So there were hundreds and thousands of people accompanying Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu going to Vrindavan. And Narsimananda Brahmachari, who was like a very simple brahmachari, he didn't have any means, but his intention was, oh, I want to do some service to the Lord. He didn't have any money, he didn't have anything, but his intention, let me do something for the Lord, right? And he was thinking that, okay, the Lord is going all the way from Navdvip all the way to Vrindavan, right? What's this? Anyway. So he's going a very long distance. And then Narsimananda Brahmachari was thinking, like, when he goes, he'll take all these roads to the forest, and there are dust roads, and there may be thorns on these roads. Maybe I can prepare a nice road for the Lord to actually walk all the way from here to Vrindavan, right? So even though he didn't have any means to express his devotion, but because his intention, his devotion was pure, in his mind, he started preparing a road for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And it's described that how he was so specific in his meditation. That first he actually thought, oh, all these roads are filled with dust, but Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he should have the best to walk on. So he actually, on the roads through his meditation, he filled the roads with like jewels and gold and diamonds. He filled all the roads with all these precious stones. And then he was thinking in his mind, it's all in his mind. He's meditating that, okay, the road where Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going, it will be filled with all these jewels and gold. And then he was thinking, well, it should be something nice and soft for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to walk. So in his mind, he was thinking of nice flowers, and then in his mind, he was taking out the stem and just only the petals, and he was putting them all on the road. So that it is like jewels, and top of them there are petals, and it'll be so comfortable for the Lord to walk on. And not only that, right? So he was constructing this road in his mind. Not only that, he was thinking that, oh, when the Lord walks, there may be bright sunshine, right? But there should be nice shady place so that it'll be very comfortable for the Lord. So in his meditation, he put nice trees on both sides so that there'll be nice shade for the Lord to walk on. And not only that, he said like, okay, the trees are there, there'll be nice shade, but there should be some nice fragrance. So he selected the trees on the side of the road so that there's such a nice fragrance for the Lord. So that when the Lord walks, then it's like he can smell these nice flowers. And then in his mind, he created very nice, gentle breezes for the Lord that would carry the fragrance. And he was constructing this road in his mind. So when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was walking, for everyone else, because he was walking with hundreds and thousands of people, for everyone else, it just appeared like a dusty road. But for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was actually walking on the road that Narsimananda Brahmachari had created in his mind. He was noticing every aspect that Narsimananda Brahmachari had created. The trees, the fragrances, the soft road, the jewels, the petals, the shade. He was experiencing everything. And Narsimananda Brahmachari, like as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was walking in his meditation, he was actually creating the road. That he'll go this way, and he's creating. And all of a sudden, at a particular point, he couldn't continue his meditation. He couldn't create the road further in his mind. And he was thinking that, oh, Why can't my meditation, I cannot continue creating the road. And he understood that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is actually not going to go to Vrindavan, and he's going to go to this place known as Kanai Natachala. So he could create the road only up to that point. He said only up to that point. And then he said like, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu this time is not going to go to Vrindavan. He's just going to go to that point and he's going to come back to Puri. Actually, he's from Puri, he actually went, not from Navdeep, Puri. So we see like how Narsimananda Brahmachari, and it's true, like Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he goes to Ramkeli, he meets Rup Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, and then Sanatan Goswami actually tells Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that when you go to Vrindavan, you shouldn't go with such huge crowds. You know? You should actually go more with a very few selected devotees, or maybe just 1 or 2 devotees. That's the mood of entering Vrindavan. Not with these thousands of people, you know. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted Sanatan Goswami's point and said, okay, I'll go back. And he went back actually, he didn't go all the way. So we see how Narsimananda Brahmachari, his intention was so pure, you know, an intention. So we say Krishna is Bhavagrahi Janardana. He accepts our intention behind the action. You know, intention behind the action. And just that, he's pleased with that. That does not mean that if we have means to do the action, we just say, oh, I'll just do the intention, I won't do the action. No, both have to be there. Action and intention. But in case we don't have the means to perform the action, then the intention is accepted by the Lord. You know, intention accepted by the Lord. So these 2 points. And other examples we can think about. Anything else anyone can think about with these terms of action and intention? Oh yes, okay. So second part of the story of when I told Krishna how he went to as a peace messenger to Hastinapur. So he rejected all those cooking by Duryodhan, but then he went to Vidura's house, you know, and then his wife, actually she was so excited that Krishna had come, and she was just like, oh, Krishna has come all the way. And at that time, Vidura was not even there at the house. And when his wife welcomed Krishna, and she was so amazed with that, you know, with so much devotion for Krishna, that all she had was some bananas. And then she was so in that mood of devotion that she was peeling the bananas and she was offering the skin to Krishna and throwing the bananas. And Krishna was actually accepting those banana peels, right? So that devotion is what Krishna was actually accepting. Oh yeah, yes, there's a story in Nectar of Devotion about the Brahmana who was actually cooking rice. Like he didn't have means to actually prepare, but he had heard that how one should actually worship the Lord, how one should actually, you know, have fresh water, bathe the Lord, then dress the Lord, then cook for the Lord. He didn't have any means, right? So in his meditation, he started doing everything. In his meditation, he actually went to the river, brought fresh water from the river, and then he was like, you know, undressing the Lord, and then bathing the Lord, and then wiping the Lord, then dressing the Lord, and then cooking for the Lord, right? And then he used to cook this nice sweet rice for the Lord. And when he was cooking, one day he was thinking that, oh, maybe the sweet rice is too hot for the Lord. And then he just put his finger in the sweet rice just to see whether sweet rice is good, like it's not too hot for the Lord. And as soon as he put his finger, this is all in meditation, as soon as he put his finger got burnt. You know? And they say like, at that moment, like Krishna in Vaikuntha was actually smiling. And Lakshmiji asked like, oh, why are you smiling? And he made the point, see my devotee, in his meditation, he touched the sweet rice and his finger got burnt. And immediately he called them back home, back to Godhead. So, yeah. Yes, Mother Krishna. Yes, that's another nice example. Shauri from Ramayana was actually... Thank you, thank you. Yeah, so Krishna is bhavagrahi janardana, right? He accepts the bhav behind the action, right? Now, I want to take it to one level further. Now, if you take the example of Dhruva Maharaj, right? Was his intention pure? No, his intention was not pure. When he actually went to the forest to actually search for the Lord, his intention was, I want to get a kingdom greater than my great grandfather, basically, greater than Brahmaji. He wanted a kingdom greater than Brahmaji. His intention was not pure. But how did the Lord reciprocate? Or why did the Lord reciprocate with him when he was chanting the mantra? The Lord actually appeared in front of him. Right? So there is another aspect here that even though our intention may not be completely pure, if we are following or if we are in contact with a pure devotee of the Lord, then that action purifies our intention. You know? The action will purify our intention provided we are following a pure devotee. Right? So that's our process, right? Our process is basically, Srila Prabhupada has given us this entire path of Vidhi Bhakti, right? We are following all these rules and regulations. And, at least for me, I can say my intention is not pure. My intention is not to the level that, I'm doing everything just to give Krishna pleasure. That is still the me concept. The I concept is still there, right? But because we are following in the footsteps of a pure devotee, the action itself will purify our intention. And that's what happened with Dhruva Maharaj. Like we see in Bhagavatam, that whenever the Lord appears to a particular devotee, that is the essence, the conclusion of everything. Like when Prithu Maharaj, he did all the yagyas. At the end, then the Lord actually appeared. And that was like, yes, Vishnu has appeared. That's the highest. But for Dhruva, when the Lord appeared, and then after, Lord came, he touched his conch on Dhruva's head, and by that Dhruva was empowered to chant these nice prayers. And after the Lord disappeared, left the scene, Dhruva was feeling sad in his heart. And that's never described in Srimad Bhagavatam, that after seeing the Lord, someone is sad in his heart. And Dhruva was sad. Why? Because he was saying, I was actually approaching the Lord for material profit. When the Lord, He is the unlimited, the supreme personality of Godhead, who is always to be served with pure loving devotion. But see my condition, I have approached the Lord for material benedictions. And in that way, he was like repentant even after seeing the Lord. Right? But that repentance and the darshan of the Lord and following the instructions of Narad Muni purified his intention. And Prabhupada often quotes this shloka that it's not from Bhagavatam, but he actually quotes this one line where it actually says that I have been looking for broken pieces of glass, but now that I've seen the Lord, I have found precious jewels. Otherwise, anything material is just like broken pieces of glass. Once glass breaks into pieces, there's no use of it. Similarly, any material benediction one is asking is just like broken pieces of glass. Gajendra? Okay. So, okay, in terms of the intention, like why do you refer Gajendra as an example? Yeah, okay. So Gajendra, his intention was basically, he was distressed, right? How Bhagavad Gita says, 4 kinds of people approach Krishna, and the example for one who is distressed is given as Gajendra. He was distressed, and then he offered prayers to the Lord. So initially his prayers was, oh Lord, get me free from this crocodile. But later on, then he came to the platform of pure devotion. Right? So the point is the action, the action which is actually given if we follow the action given by pure devotees, then our intention can actually get purified. And then purified intention plus the action is actually pure devotional service. And also I want to mention one other point. Mother Krishna. Hmm. Thank you so much, Martin. So I was going to make this one point that, in bhakti, we are engaged in activities that Srila Prabhupada has given us. But I was thinking, like, how can we incorporate that mood of intention behind the action? Because certain times when we do the action, it could become mechanical. Especially every day we are doing the same thing. We can mechanically do the action and forget that important aspect of intention. And hence it's nice to remember this point that Krishna is actually bhavagrahi janana. He's actually looking at our intention behind the action. So when we are actually doing the action, we can actually think about, like, why are we doing this? We are actually doing this to give pleasure to Srila Prabhupada, to our gurus, to Krishna. Finally, that's the highest aspiration. That somehow or other, with my little insignificant service, if I can give pleasure to Krishna or pleasure to my guru, then my life is successful. And with that intention, if we do our actions, then that activity of devotional service becomes very powerful. But otherwise, we are doing the action without the intention. Certainly, there is benefit because Krishna is so merciful, he sees that. But if we actually incorporate the intention, then the devotional service becomes very powerful. But I'll just end with the last point. When you talk of this action and intention, there's one extreme example, which is a very rare example, where the action was wrong, the intention was wrong, but Krishna gave the highest benefit. Putana, right? Putana, her action was wrong. She was actually giving poison to Krishna. Her intention was completely wrong. She just wanted to kill Krishna. But Krishna is so merciful. But this is an extreme example, right? This is the extreme example from Krishna's side. From our side, we should just focus more on the intention and our action. Is our action in line with what Srila Prabhupada has given? Is our intention right while we are doing the action? Focus on this. But Krishna is so merciful, and the example is given. Aho bakiyam stana kala kutam. This baki, right? This putana. Then kala kutam, she, on her breast, she had actually this poison. And she wanted to kill Krishna. But Krishna is so merciful. Kim va dayalu. Who can be more merciful than Krishna, who actually gave her a position of the nurse in the spiritual world just because she came in that form of a mother, though her intention action. So from Krishna's side, he's so merciful that this extreme example is given. Right? And yeah. But from our side, both action and intention has to be. Jagai and Madhai. So their action was wrong, their intention was wrong, but the Lord actually causelessly gave his mercy to them. Right? So that is from the Lord's side, how the Lord is so merciful, so merciful. Like a mother. Yeah. They were the worst of the sinners, and they got the. And then, there's so many examples we can think about this. Like Shishupal is another example. We are reading about Shishupal in this section. That how he was like always blaspheming the Lord. So his action was wrong, his intention was wrong. But the point that 7th canto in the first chapter makes is that somehow other Shishupal came in contact with the Lord. And because of that, he got purified. King Vena was a vicious king, but he did not come in contact with the Lord. And hence he was like sent to sinful planets. So glorification. Yeah. Anyway, so we'll end here. I just wanted to, this one sentence I really liked, that how it said, like, Bhishmaka's actions were successful because of his eagerness to offer to the Lord, whereas Dhamagosha's actions were useless since he was opposed to the Lord. Right? So action and intention. So thank you all so much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Unfavorably. Yeah.
Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Enam Kanvandam Maravindadalayataksham Marhamatam Samasitam Buddhasundarangam Kandar Agom Vidamaniya Nishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Asa Sakalen Priya Priti Manti Lasyan Dipan Dikayanti Jiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam
Gogulatarani Mandala Mahite Gogulatarani Mandala Mahite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate 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 Damodara Rati Vardhana Veshe Hari Nishkuta Brinda Vipineshe 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 Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate Radhe Vrishabhanu Dadi Navashashi Leke Lalita Saki Guna Ramita Vishake Vrishabhanu Dadi Navashashi Leke Lalita Saki Guna Ramita Vishake Vrishabhanu Dadi Navashashi Leke Lalita Saki Guna Ramita Vishake Vrishabhanu Dadi Navashashi Leke Lalita Saki Guna Ramita Vishake Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate 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 Karunam Kurumai Karuna Bharate Sanaka Sanatana Varnita Charite Karunam Kurumai Karuna Bharate Sanaka Sanatana Varnita Charite Karunam Kurumai Karuna Bharate Sanaka Sanatana Varnita Charite Guru Mai Karuna Bharate Sanaka Sanatana Varnita Charite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate 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 Jaya Radha Golokananda Radha Golokananda Radhe Jaya Radha Golokananda Radha Kananda Radhe Jaya Radha Golokananda Radha Golokananda Radhe Jaya Golokananda Radha Golokananda Radha Jaya Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Jaya 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 Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Shri Gaura ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Golokananda ki jai. Jai, 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 Shri Radhe Sham. O Radha, all glories unto you, all glories unto you. Beloved of Madhava, object of worship for all the young girls of Gokula, you dress yourself in such a way as to increase Lord Damodar's love and attachment for you. You are the controller of Vrindavan, the pleasure groves of Lord Hari. You are a new moon arisen from the ocean of King Vrishabhanu. You are the friend of Lalita, and your wonderful qualities, friendliness, kindness, and faithfulness to Krishna, endear you to Vishaka.
You are an ocean of compassion, and your divine characteristics are described by the four Kumaras, Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanandana, and Sanat Kumara. O Radha, please be merciful to me. Srila Rupa Goswami ki jai. Srila Sanatan Goswami ki jai. Chaito Darpanam Arjanam Bhavamahadavagni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairavya Chandrika Vitaranam Vijavadu Jivanam Anandam Vardhanam Pratipanam Purnamrita Swadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrapitani Amita Smarane Nakala Etadrashita Vakripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Midrishami Hajjani Nanuraga Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Suhishuna Amani Namana Dena Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Va Jagadish Hamaye. Happy birthday. Bhavatad Bhaktira Hoitaki Twai Ayi Nanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishame Bhavam Buddha Kripayata Vapada Pankaja Stita Duli Sadrashim Vachintaya Nayanam Gadashu Daraya Varanam Gad Gadaradaya Gira Pulakarnishitam Vapukada Tavanamagrahaneva Vishyati Yuga Yatam Namishena Chakshusha Pravashayatam Shunayatam Jagat Sarvam Govindam Virahename Ashlishyavapadamritam Anastumam Adarshanam Marmata Karotuva Yatatatava Vidadatu Lampato Matprananatastu Saivanapara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. O my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names you've invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw on the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service birth after birth. O Son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end with the recitation of your name? O Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally. Shri Shastika Ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan tomorrow at 11:30 in the morning till 1 or 1:30 in the afternoon. And it's going to be at Weaver Street Market here in Hillsborough. Hare Krishna.